Welcome back, guys. This is Sarah.
And I'm Erika, and we are Living Understaffed, the podcast about not having enough hands or hours and your best just isn't it. How have you been understaffed this week?
Well, went to Vegas for work and for fun, which was lovely. But now, obviously, I'm broke and tired, and this is the second vacation in my entire life that I had a couple of extra days before I went back to work. And the first one was summer of 2024 when I went to Romania. I took one whole day off of work before I went back. So, good for me, I guess. Yesterday, I think we talked about it a little bit, but I average roughly 25,000 steps a day in Vegas. And yesterday was my first day home, and I was under 600 steps for the whole day. And I was like, that's so hot. My feet felt so good at the end of the day. And then I realized I hadn't eaten anything or hardly drank anything. So my friend Viola invited me out for dinner and margs. And I was like, oh, fucking hell yeah, I'll be there. But when I got up out of bed to go shower, my feet were like, excuse me, ma'am, what are we doing? I almost fell over because I was like, oh God. Also, Erika and I tried to record this episode in Vegas, and guess what? Erika's video didn't properly upload, and mine did. The wonders of beautiful Wi-Fi and not being in the middle of the forest. So here we are on our second recording for this week before Valentine's Day episode, and I just hope that it works. That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. We're just here and we're doing our best.
Mm-hmm. How are you?
Good. Last week was eventful. Not quite as eventful as yours. I have simultaneously been really good and really bad about eating. So, shocking, I know.
Also, you had the flu, so kind of understandable.
I don't think it was the flu. I think it was the fact that I didn't eat anything all day, and then we recorded, and then I ate 2 handfuls of black licorice and then went to bed.
Gross.
I love black licorice so much. I know it's an old person candy. I know it is. And then I woke up in the morning feeling like shit and had the worst heartburn ever my entire life. And then I was like, I'm good. I just have to drink some water, eat some fruit. I'm solid. I will be fine. I'll just go to work. I'll be fine. And then I stood up and I was like, nope, not fine. And the best part about having a dog when you're sick is that your dog is like, what is happening in here? Please let me in here. So that was cool.
Yeah.
And then my roommate, Selena, who's lovely, she went and bought me some Tums because I had just the worst heartburn ever. And I have a tattoo on my kneecap and I have my nipples pierced. Obviously I can handle pain. I am a little baby back bitch when it comes to heartburn. I'm like, please kill me now.
Oh no.
I hate this so much.
Oh.
So she got me some Tums, which is very sweet. And then it must have been when I was at work. I left my door open because I let Daisy sleep on my bed. And my Tums, which had one taken out of it, was on my bedside table. Yes. Guess who ate them all?
Oh.
Every single one. And I didn't know what it was. But Selena was like, hey, Erika, just wanted to let you know, Daisy's been throwing up and she's been throwing up pieces of her toys. So just wanted to let you know. And I was like, shit, okay. And I had plans and I was like, so I canceled my plans. I'm like, I just want to stay with her. I don't know what she ate. Just want to make sure that she's okay for the night.
Yeah.
Because she also wasn't eating or drinking water really. So I was a little I just wanted to keep an eye on her. And then she was acting really guilty. And I came downstairs and I walked in my bedroom and Daisy is the worst. She has the worst poker face, even for a dog. And I'm like, what do you have there? And it's my empty Tums container. And I was like, Yes. I'm like, you are an asshole. So I knew what it was. I'm like, okay, like she'll be fine. She just ate too many Tums. Not great for her, but like she's not gonna like overdose or anything like that. But it's like, God damn it, Daisy. And then I broke my nail giving her a bath, trying to rinse off all of her crust because there's no such thing as a free dog. And as much as I love her, she has skin problems and she has a skin infection. The vet said it was probably a fungus or some kind of yeast. So
Poor girl.
no, she's just a baby. But
She is.
this is how bougie I am about my dogs. I have, those like shampoo things. I have one that it is now hers. So when I give her a bath, I like give her a good scrub with the shampoo
Is
thing.
that her snoring?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Both dogs are in here.
I have been I've been gone for 10 days, and when I got home late Friday night, of course I tried to sleep in Saturday, but I've been in a different time zone and getting up super early, so I woke up at like 7, which would have been 5 a.m. Vegas time. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go pee, get some water, and I'm going back to bed. Like, I'll turn on a movie and I'll just sleep. I opened the door and my roommate had gone or whatever, but she leaves the dog like trapped down here in the basement because I don't know if she has like separation anxiety or whatever, but she scratches at the carpet upstairs.
Yeah.
And so she's made a couple of holes in the carpet up there. So she keeps her down here and puts one of our box jump things in the doorway. And she is an Australian Shepherd. She can jump that with no problems, but that thing in the way, she doesn't jump it. And I'm like, all right. Anyway, I got up and I was kind of like groaning, and like in your 30s when your body starts like clicking and cracking in like new ways. I'm sitting on the side of my bed and I'm like, crack, 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 and I'm like, oh fuck, like I gotta pee. And all of a sudden I hear this little scratch on the door and I was like, oh my God. So I go open the door and she was so excited to see me. And like my roommate doesn't let her on the furniture, but like in my room, she's allowed on the bed. And she knows that, but she's still so good that she like asks permission. Like she'll put her head on my hand and I'll be like, yeah, get up here. She snuggled with me all Saturday morning. It was the literal best. And I love her so much. Like,
dog snuggles are the best snuggles.
seriously.
Doesn't matter the dog.
How was last night? It looked like you had some fun.
It was fun. It was fun. Also, Emma wore this last night. I don't know. So TikTok Shop gets me all the time. I get got by TikTok Shop. And one of the things is Adriana Nicole Cosmetics, and her eyeshadows are chef's kiss.
You've talked about this before.
Yes. So this is another one that I bought, and it shifts from like green to copper,
which is beautiful. Love that.
Emma was wearing it last night, and I hate it for her because she looks so much better in it than I do. And I'm like,
fuck off.
First of all, rude. But I was like ready for bed, and she was like, come out. And I was like, okay, because she was going out with two of her coworkers, and she's like, I don't want to just be me and the dudes. And I was like, okay, because
that's fair.
Going to Patty's, which is like, it's like the closest thing to like a club in Fayetteville, and it's like the only, everywhere else is a dive bar. Except
so it's Club Rodeo.
Yeah, it's exactly Club Rodeo. It is exactly that.
Okay.
Right down to the sticky floors. Yeah. And there's this dude that came up to me and he started dancing with me. And it was fine. He was kind of cute, gigantic muscles. Which I was like, I love this. And like his chest was like in my face, which I also was like, love this for me.
Oh,
Yes.
that is
Giant.
offensive and sexy.
Yes. He was talking to me and his breath smelled like literal shit.
Oh, that's the worst.
I was like, how long? How many days do you have to not brush your teeth before your breath
Clearly
smells like?
not long. Okay.
And then he was like, first, he was also pretty drunk. And I was like, okay. He's like, can I have this dance? And I was like, sure. Like, I will dance with literally anybody. Like, I am not one of those, like, oh no. Like, I am there to have a good time.
I love dancing.
Me too.
Let's just go.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. And I've always been like that. Like, whether I'm like part of a couple or single or whatever, like, if you're not dancing with me and somebody else wants to, I'm going to dance with them. So, but then he started getting real handsy. Yes. He just like shifted his hands down and like pushed me into him. And I was like, no. And Emma is a real one. So she looks at me and she like grabs my arm and she's like, sorry, I have to borrow my sister for a minute. I have to go to the bathroom and I don't want to go alone. So we went to the bathroom and then we came back out on the dance floor and like went to a different area. And I was like,
literally, if you don't have a good wing woman in your friends, then are they really your friend?
Correct.
I mean, yeah.
I do have a list of a couple of places I want to take you. One of those places, which is really close to my house actually, is called and it's like a fancy cocktail bar.
Oh, I love that.
I know.
So what you're saying is bring a nice-ish outfit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, because it's so cute and like honestly, like whatever. But I was like, maybe we could like have dinner or something. Because I also like Emma. If we go to Chris's Steakhouse, which is also very nice, their bar, Emma will take care of us 100%. So we could go there for like a fancy dinner if we were to, or even like
perfect.
Like the one night we can dress cute and like pretend that we are fancy society ladies. And then on Valentine's Day, there's this it's a brewery, but it is like St. James, like up the one in St. James, the Public House Brewing up in St. James, where it has like the patio and it has that whole like area. It's kind of like that, but much bigger and better, in my opinion. They don't have wine though; they only have beer. They do. I think they have a full bar, and they also have like a cocktail bar, but I have not been there. And they have like community events there, and they have a farmer's market every Sunday. They do a whole lot of stuff, and it's just fun, and I like it. But the event that they're having,
I love this already,
on Valentine's Day is an emo prom. Yes. I would like to go.
I'm so in.
Okay. I want to go. My roommate Selena's going. Emma might have to work, but I might be able to talk Emma into it. We're all like,
are you literally asking me to be your date to an emo prom? Because I think I just can't.
Yes. Will you be my prom date? My sweet, sweet boo thing.
Oh my God. On the podcast too? This is the most romantic thing that's ever happened to me.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, my answer is yes. Hands down. Oh,
also,
I have goosebumps are going down my leg.
Also, Selena and her friend Sam are going, and I'm like, first of all, I was like, Sarah and I were in high school during the emo peak
prime emo period.
We are gonna show you how it is done. Minus, I have standards now. I'm not smudging my Wet n Wild black eyeliner around my eye anymore.
Correct. But I'm in my head already planning multiple outfits that I could or could not wear.
I've got a couple that I think I might wear. And like, I'm torn because I'm like, I'm going to have the new tattoo. But the arm things.
The fishnet
Ugh.
hand. Oh, we could do one arm. No, I can't because my sleeve is beautiful.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it's so hard.
I'm so excited. Also, I don't think you've ever slept over at my house before. I don't think you've ever been to my house before. This house or any other house. I've
only driven by in Fort Leonard Wood because we lived in like
Yes.
neighboring areas and I always saw you leave your house.
Yeah.
So
I am a bougie bedding person. So I have linen sheets.
what does that mean?
It means I have linen sheets.
Oh, okay. I was like,
And I have an organic cotton comforter.
I knew about the comforter, but where is this going? Like, are you okay with us crashing in the same bed?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Like,
I want you to sleep.
Okay.
I was like, I'll sleep on the couch if you're weird about it. But like, and I also have a nice mattress.
No.
So not like the nicest mattress.
I'm already there. First of all, on a complete non-sexual level, you're getting so laid for asking me to emo prom. Like,
I know. I was like,
who are we actually?
Claire's talking about this. Also, I know the band. It's Taking Back Saturday, SADD, not Taking Back Sunday, Taking Back Saturday.
Take Back Sunday. I know. That's so clever.
It's a cover band, and it's Saturdays, so SADDER days. I may or may not have fucked the drummer of that band. It's not as exciting as it sounds.
Hey friends, let's talk about something we all cherish, our memories. Whether it's old family photos, home videos, or those special moments that define our lives, they deserve more than a shoebox or a cluttered cloud drive. That's where Forever comes in. Forever is your permanent digital home for preserving, organizing, sharing your most treasured memories without ads, without data mining, and with a guarantee for generations to come. There's a need to digitize old photos and home movies that have been stuck on that VHS. Forever makes it easy. Do you want secure private cloud storage? You pay once and you own it for a lifetime plus 100 years. If you love creating custom photo books, I definitely do. Gifts, coffee cups, blankets, keepsakes. Forever has the options that you'll love. If you want the best deals, join Forever Club. Not only do you get nearly 5% off everything, but you also earn free storage every 3 months and get access to exclusive calls with the Forever founder. So your memories deserve more than just a temporary fix or a thumb drive that we've lost. Or, I've even worked with a couple people that their external hard drives have all of a sudden stopped working. So let's try to avoid that. You deserve Forever. And the link is in the show notes, and we'll link it to this video as well. Good luck out there. Let me know if you have any questions.
There's something about 2025. I know this is like our 18th segue, but I've done this twice in the last week where people that I had talked to last year, or men specifically, that I really liked, or for whatever reason, like kind of let them not necessarily like overtly treat me like shit, but like waste my time. And like, actually I've done this to 3, but $200 guy was a while ago. And one of them was like, you remember Hot for Teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he really liked him, right? And then he would like ghost me for months. And then he would text me out of the blue. And then he's like, I really want to see you. I miss you, blah, blah, blah. Like, and it happened twice where I was like we had planned for me to drive to go see him. And he lives like 3 hours away. And then he would like ghost me. And then recently he was like, hey, like this is the situation and I'm just really sorry and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, can I come see you this weekend? And I was like, no, I have plans. I'm doing other things. Like, and I don't know. You need to give me some time to like decide.
Correct.
And he was like, okay, I understand. And then like every day he's like, hi, I miss you. Can I come see you? And it's like, you
bastard.
Yeah. And I kind of said that. I was like, look, like, and then I was like, hey, like, you're going to have to give me some time. If you don't want to wait, like, that's fine. I understand. But like right now, this is not what I want. I don't have like the capacity.
I don't have the capacity for it.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll just stop bothering you. I hope you have a nice life. And I was like, don't fucking do that. Do not do that. You ghosted me for months and months. Didn't respond to me. Didn't tell me what was going on. I had reached out to you before when I was feeling lonely or whatever, and you gave me nothing. And now I'm supposed to feel bad because you're in a bad place and I'm not immediately swooping in to make you feel better. Actually, go fuck yourself.
Absolutely fucking not. This is no.
And
and it's
2024 me would not have done that. So I'm proud of myself. And there's another guy that did something kind of similar. And I sort of was like, he's like, oh, come over. And I was like, no. He's like, but I really want to see you. And I was like, no.
We have openly bashed Magic Guy. I would like to meet him in person so I can kick him right between both ball sacks. Or balls. But I would really appreciate the opportunity for that. But he's not worth the time.
Yeah.
And on a proud level, I want to say that like you're growing, I'm growing. This is a whole like 2025 is our year. But I think that, you know, some of the people that have reached out to like talk to us about how the podcast has helped them either become stronger or not feel alone. I think for the two of us, it's also sort of become almost empowering.
Yeah.
Where we have sort of that other person to bounce things off of. And like, I'm appreciative of that because there's been a couple of people like since I've been dating Garbage Man that there's been a couple of people that have reached out that I'm like,
no.
And we've already openly bashed Married Guy who reached out to me while I was in Vegas. And he's like, I came to your office to see you. And I'm like, did you read the sign that says I'm on leave? Because
yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. There's like so much of that of like, and it's helpful. Like, it's really helpful to have you. It's also helpful to have like Emma because I'm like, please tell me, remind me why I do not owe this man anything. And she's like, these are the reasons you don't owe him anything. He did all of these things to you. Don't do it. Which is sometimes helpful.
Yeah.
In a way that only a sister can do because they don't care about your feelings.
Yes. And not only that, but like we've talked about this, like being a part of the military community. When you live away from your family and from the people that like uninhibitedly love you and care about you, and you don't have the same type of support system in place, via text message and via phone call isn't quite always, depending on your relationship with people, obviously, but it doesn't always hit the same way as your sister actually standing in front of you telling you to shut the fuck up. Also, on a side note, there's a couple of videos that I've saved that you've been like, hey, if I ever do this in the future, I need you to remind me X, Y, and Z. I have a couple of videos if you need me to send them to you.
Good. Thank you.
So, like, dude, I get it. I get it. And the worst part is like, I think our personalities, just like our work ethic and the people that we are as humans, is we're so ready to just like forgive, forget, let's move on, let's do better, whatever. And I think that, you know, quote unquote, becoming those crusty government civilians, that we are creating better boundaries for ourselves and learning from not necessarily mistakes, but learning from those habits that it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that again. I don't have the mental capacity. I probably have the patience for it, but like, I'm not going to put up with it because I deserve better.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
And bless you, Daisy. Bless you.
Yes.
So it just, yeah. Anyway.
No, and this is also a pretty good segue into it because we are going to talk about Valentine's Day. Sorry, y'all should know that we're yappers. But one of the things about that Sarah and I have talked about on and off pod is that one of the goals we have for ourselves is to be more like authentically ourselves and like take care of ourselves better. And that means like emotionally and physically and all of that stuff. Like, and not constantly feeling bad about like, oh, well, they made the effort. It's like, okay. But did they though? Like, where do you find that medium between understanding that they did their best or they put in a good faith effort to give you what you wanted versus your expectations of what you would do for them? So,
Oh my God.
I'm
cutting in because I just remembered. I watched a video yesterday. It's like I don't know if it's like a relationship panel, but it's like almost like a seminar. And I've seen some of their videos a lot over the last year. And it's like this program that you pay tickets for, that you go and there's a panel of men and women up on the stage and they're answering questions about relationships and stuff. And like, hey, if my woman does this, this, and this, like, what does that mean? Right. And they respond and it's open and it's raw and it is heavy and it's direct and it's beautiful. So I don't know what the question was, but the guy that responded was, me as a man, I'm not going to look for someone that's healed. I'm going to look for someone who is just before that healed portion of their lives, just before, or not healed at all, because they have been putting up with the absolute bare minimum. And me as a man means that I only have to put in a little bit more effort above the bare minimum level because it makes them feel seen and heard. So if I find someone that's not healed, me opening doors and me paying for dinner, that's the goddamn bare minimum. But if I go for a woman that's healed, opening doors and paying for dinner, that's fucking expected. That's already part of their life. That's already part of what they're seeing in their dating lives. So if I end up dating someone who's healed, I break up with them because I want to look for someone that only wants the bare minimum because it's actually just above of what they've been receiving from past relationships. And I was like, sir, that was hurtful.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Are you fucking serious? And in my head, that made me reflect too of like, post-divorce. Of course, that first 6 months of meeting people is not always like, not always the people that you want to be like in a relationship type with. But I realized that I was like, oh my God, I still remember the first guy that opened a door for me. And I was like, why are you being so nice? Like, why? What is happening? It's still kind of it's weird. No, and after I watched that video, I was like, oh my God, I was looking for the bare minimum because what I was getting before that was so much less.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when we say that 2025 is our year, like, it sure is.
Hi, my name is Trisha, and I am the Vice President of the nonprofit KC Book Beat. We aim to connect readers with local literary talent, fostering a deeper appreciation for the stories that shape our community. Through this catalog and our local events, we want to provide a platform for authors, bookstores, and publishers to reach a wider audience and strengthen their presence in Kansas City. We have so many amazing events coming up in the year 2025. We have our Writers' Workshop in January. We have a children's book fair in April and so many more, including our KC Lit Libations in May and November. Love to see you.
This is another, and we go off on tangents, but this is kind of a segue on expectations for Valentine's Day, because I could almost bet that there's a whole lot of people that are signing up for the apps right now, hoping that they get a Valentine's Day date. And I mean, I was one of them a couple years ago. So like, been there. But I want to like throw out the fact that like, it's okay to not have a date for Valentine's Day, simply for the fact that like, if you're lonely, If you're worried about societal expectations, if you're worried about you not having a date and all of your friends do, take yourself out, dude. I have a coworker that she's been married, I think for 25 or 28 years, something. I mean, well over 20 years she's been married. They have 2 kids. And she had never taken herself to dinner by herself. She had never been to a meal by herself in a public place until 2024. And not to talk down on it, but she did it in an airport at a layover. She had like a decent layover on the way to somewhere. And she was texting me during and she's like, guess what I did? And like, I think that's phenomenal. Me personally, I take myself out for dinner all the time. I get, a few glasses of wine or a couple drinks. I bring a book. I have my phone with me. Sometimes I bring my laptop and I work on podcast shit. Like, I don't care. I'm at Colton's because Fort Leonard Wood has fucking nothing. So I'll go to Colton's and get a booth to myself and I fucking chill. I mean, the waiter gets a good tip, but like, I'll fucking chill because I just needed, obviously, dinner. I needed sustenance, but also like a change of scenery. And I don't need someone to take me out to like feel validated or anything like that. And I can't always say that my life was like that. I cannot say that. So for those people, if you are looking for a date and you really, you just want to have that romance and you want to have that like nuance and the honeymoon and whatever for Valentine's Day, do me this favor and don't lower your standards to do so. And if that's the case, if you still can't find someone that meets, even if they're lower standards than normal, take yourself out because that's okay. Or go with some girlfriends. Don't, for the love of God, don't say Galentine's Day because I fucking hate that. But like Erika and I, we already talked about it. Like she just asked me to emo prom, which is the most romantic thing that has ever happened to me. But like, like we're going to go out and we're going to have a good time. I think we're going to get tattoos. I don't think we're getting tattoos on Friday, but I think we're getting tattoos on Saturday. Like it's a weekend for us to just like hang out, be with our friends, enjoy, and just have a good time. But if that's the case, like you do you, boo, but just know like for me, okay, what am I trying to say? Advice point, if you're willing to take advice, if you are lowering your standards just so that you can have, a date for Valentine's Day weekend, just do me a favor and evaluate it just a little bit more before you say yes, or look for someone who, checks a few boxes, but not the ones that you really want.
Yeah. And that's also further segueing into like what I was going to talk about is that you and I both spent a lot of time in a relationship with somebody that didn't give us what we wanted, but we also we depended on them to give that to us. Like at this point in my life, and like at different stages of your life, different things are important and all of that stuff. And I'm not going to go super far into it. Like for me right now, as a 35-year-old woman, these are things that if you don't buy me, I'm going to buy myself. And these are things that I like and what I want. And if you have had a conversation with me or you know me like at all, you probably already know this stuff. But like these are ideas of things that I collected that I just really love that are better than like, I appreciate the effort if you put in a good faith effort, but if you show up with a bouquet of carnations from Walmart that's $7.98 that you got that morning, I know you didn't put in a lot of effort. Like you did not put in any forethought, so you may as well just have like, if you forgot or it wasn't important to you, just say that. And I'll buy myself flowers. So
on the flip side, if this isn't okay. Oh my God. So last week we talked a lot about putting in effort and how important it is. We talked a lot about this, but this week I do want to kind of put a focus a little bit more on communication, because if like, let's say, Erika likes flowers. I love flowers. Like I love sunflowers. Sunflowers are not fucking in season right now, right? Roses. I don't mind roses. Erika doesn't like roses, right? If we're dating someone, if we're in a relationship with someone, it's okay to communicate the things that you don't like too. And hopefully your partner's listening. So, and vice versa, right? Like you have to listen to your partner in order to find out the things they like and don't like. So I do want to put a caveat in there because this is something that we do a lot. Caveat being, some people are just not good at those types of gestures because it's not necessarily their love language, right? Like gift giving is not their thing. And I bring up my ex as an example because I think I am pretty easy to shop for. I think I'm pretty fucking easy to shop for. And every year there would be a comment about like, I just don't know what to get you. You're so hard to shop for. So maybe gift giving is just not his thing, right? But the communication part, if I were a little more blunt and I said, hey, I want roses for Valentine's Day and I want you to make reservations at a restaurant, that's my bare minimum, right? And at that point, if that's not followed through with, then that's a separate conversation, right? Those little bits of effort, I made the effort to communicate that with you, and I want you as my partner to be able to follow through. And if you can't do that, which in my opinion, very easy to do, but I'm a planner, right? So if me being a planner, I planned Valentine's Day 3 fucking weeks ago, if not longer, and I already made the reservations. Someone who's not a planner is going to look for the fucking reservation the day before.
Yeah.
Because so I think communication is such a huge factor in any friendship, in any relationship, in any family, because it's important, right? And to caveat myself one more time, the listening piece is key. Because thank you, your face says it all. If your partner has either dropped hints, which I think are bullshit, like I used to be such a person that I'm like, I've tried to tell you this in so many different ways. No, I didn't. I just dropped fucking breadcrumbs for you to figure out and put this puzzle together. So I've changed in that aspect. But if your person has given you these instances and these breadcrumbs that they are not a planner, that they are not good with gift giving or whatever it is, you also have to kind of adjust those expectations too, because if you are willing to be with this person and this is a long-term or whatever, then you also have to be willing to accept those things of your partner because that is not their strength. Does that make sense?
Yes. Also, I think it goes back to in the very beginning when we were talking about like, where is that? I think everybody needs to find that line of like what you are willing to do for your partner to make them happy and what you're willing to accept from them. And those are different for every single person. And it's not just one or the other.
Yes.
And that is something that is really hard. And you have to do a lot of like evaluating of yourself and your partner. And you have to be willing to make yourself uncomfortable and do things that you don't want to or ask for things that you are nervous about. And those things are all really hard. And I'm just finally at a place where I am able to do it. Not that I'm comfortable with it, that I'm able to do it, and I'm 35. So that being said, I am going to tell, for the people that don't know, these are some great, not Walmart bouquet ideas for Valentine's Day. Number 1, show me that you know me. Like if I have said, like, I recently had this experience of on my birthday, I had mimosas. And the next time I went over to this person's house, he made me a mimosa because he's like, I noticed you said that you had a mimosa. So I realized that I had all the stuff for mimosas. So I made you one. And I was like, that is so nice. That is so nice. But
that's delicious. Not only on a beverage level, but on a listening and taking note level.
Hot. But also like flowers. Here's the thing. I love flowers. I do. I am genuinely like, not all women love flowers. I do. But I don't love like I love interesting flowers or like not. I don't really like carnations. I don't really like baby's breath. I don't Like, give me something interesting and that smells good. I don't love lilies. I love a potted plant. Potted plants aren't expensive. But some really really pretty flowers. Like if somebody called a florist and like had a bouquet of flowers delivered to me, amazing. Like,
Done and done.
for
Done
real.
and done.
It's something like that requires like forethought that is just so like, yes. But anyway,
What?
anemones, super pretty. Peonies, my personal favorite, one of my personal favorites. Ranunculus,
Delicious.
which does sound like a spell in Harry Potter.
Ridiculous. Thank you. I just yes.
Delphinium, which is just fun to say. Freesia, they're really pretty. They also smell really good. And orchids. I kill orchids. Sarah can keep them alive because she's an orchid savant. I cannot. They die immediately.
I do have a propensity for orchids. It is disgusting because my green thumb is nowhere to be found. But magically, I can keep orchids alive. I don't know why.
Yeah, me neither. But I think my favorite like suggestion, because I was on TikTok and Cray Gardens had a really good like list. I have added to it, but I shamelessly took some of these things. A custom charcuterie board.
Stop it.
Yum. Right? I make charcuterie boards for myself for dinner on a regular basis. And like I did some looking because I was like, I want to buy myself one of the, like, how much are they? Can I just have some for myself? Because having a charcuterie board and I don't have to cut up the cheese, say less. And there's a lot of local ones and most of them are women-owned businesses. So yay for that. What?
I just got a really great idea for us for Valentine's Day. A couple years ago, I was in charge of my little sister's charcuterie board for the morning of getting ready for the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a penis-shaped charcuterie board. And I will bring it with me to North Carolina.
Yes.
And we'll do a charcuterie board. Done and done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Done. We're going to have the best Valentine's Day. Together, we are each other's dates. This is what we're talking about. Also, this is a blanket statement. A lot of the time we give caveats and we have like, you know, on the other side of the coin or whatever. This is an absolute fact. Women do not want those heart necklaces. We don't want them. Do not buy them. They're ugly.
Zales. What's the other one? Zales. K Jewelers. All those ridiculous heart-shaped giant necklaces that are too like stop it.
Stop.
Can we just collectively no.
They're ugly. And they're expensive. It is a crime on all levels. Don't.
Correct.
Don't. Yeah, they're bad. Don't. If you're thinking about buying one for your lady friend, don't do it. She doesn't want it. I promise. This is a fact. There are no caveats. There are no exceptions. Do not get it. She doesn't want it. Or at the very least, she wants something more.
Correct.
Same goes for shitty chocolate. No one.
We've had so many conversations about this.
No one wants the like Russell heart-shaped boxes because they're gross. They're gross and bad. And they're expensive. And like, I love a box of chocolates, like really fancy, like, chocolates. Like, I'm here for it. I love that. I will buy my own though. Like, I don't expect somebody to spend that much money. But I also love Reese's peanut butter cups. And if you are in my presence for more than 2 days, you know that. If you can't, like, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, if you bought me heart-shaped Reese's peanut butter cups, I would be so happy. Like,
Yeah.
nobody wants the shitty chocolates. Nobody does. This one is my personal favorite. Do something nice for her. Not something you should have already done.
Oh. All right.
Because if you're
I
like,
have this coworker.
yes, yes, I think you told me the story. Yes.
So for Christmas one year, this man is the man who on our whole department, we have his wife's birthday and their wedding anniversary to remind him a week out and the day before because he forgets every year. Okay, this is that man. And we love him. We love him. We really do. He's the most annoying man on the planet, but we love him. Like he is who he is.
He's doing his best.
He is doing his best with the forethought of everyone else in the office for him because he forgets.
Fair.
This is also the man that treats me like a secretary, and he thinks it's funny when I stand up for myself. And I'm like,
I hate him.
I'll kill you.
Mine. For real.
Yes. So he thought that he had the most brilliant idea for Christmas. This was like my first or second year with the office. He said that he was going to buy her a vacuum. And we all were like, absolutely not. Do not. Don't buy your wife, your partner, your person a fucking appliance that they use on a regular basis to clean your home. Do not. And he was like, well, what am I supposed to get her? Not a vacuum. Not a fucking vacuum.
Literally nothing would be
the
better
answer.
Than a vacuum.
God.
Do not.
Everything would be better than a vacuum. Everything. The Walmart shitty chocolate heart candy would be better than a vacuum.
Correct.
Get her the K Jewelers heart necklace. That's better than a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that's your idea of wooing or, Valentine's Day gift for your spouse, no, it's not. Rethink your choices kindly and immediately.
I worked one of the jobs that I had in Missouri. It was me and literally 45 old men. And one of them was like, I did not know him very well. I had worked there for maybe a year. I was also the only woman in the office. That's not an exaggeration. Like I was the only one. And he came over to me. He's like, what should I get my wife for Valentine's Day? And I was like, or for our anniversary. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know your wife. And he was like, yeah, but like, what would you like? I'm like, well, it's a little upsetting that you don't know what she wants.
Also,
just because
if I were your wife, I would be upset that you're getting a gift that another woman would want.
Yeah. Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean all women like the same stuff. We're actually individual people. Wild, I know.
And I've met so many men like that. It's disgusting.
I
disgusting.
Hate it. I feel the same way. I used to get this all the time with my ex's commanders. Anytime he would like deploy or whatever, and they're like, why don't you get into crafts? That's what my wife does. And I'm like, thanks.
I've always had a job.
Me
but
too.
I've always been crafty. And so did I make purses out of OCP tops for women while their husbands were deployed? Yes, I did. And they were adorable. Did I ever have one? Absolutely fucking not. But did I make like $75 off of every single purse?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no, that's fine. That's fine.
I also made a tiny profit from COVID making military print or black print masks for people because they had to have it in uniform.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's fair. But yeah, like just like I call it Kenny Rogers advice. Like it's you're just giving advice because it makes you feel better, but it doesn't actually mean anything.
Correct.
R.I.P.
Correct.
Kenny Rogers. But side note to the side note, trying to get back on track. I love an excuse to be fancy. Something that I lived in a really small town the first like half of my 20s, and then I moved to Seattle, and my husband at the time was in training, so I was just there by myself and I didn't really have a lot of friends, and it was 2017, so like makeup was like super big and like ridiculous, like Jeffree Star, all of that stuff. And I didn't have anything to do really because I didn't really have a lot of friends. And I've never really been one to just like sit around and be sad. Not to say that I don't have depression sometimes. And I was not medicated at this time. So it was rough. But I would put on I would go full glam at like 8 a.m. and go to the grocery store because like, why not? I love an excuse to be fancy. I love an excuse to be fancy. So yeah, give me an excuse to be fancy and I will be happy. Like, but not every woman wants that, but like,
no,
whoever your paramour is, they're going to want something on this list. I promise.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. And if you can't, for me personally, you can't handle those things, I'm out of your price range. Monetarily and effortly.
We're going to have to figure out a word for that. Ooh.
Right? Because I don't want to spend my time with somebody who is not in a place where they can put in the same amount of effort as I do. And that doesn't mean the same effort in the same kinds of things or anything like that. Like, you don't have to match my energy on everything. Sarah and I have talked about this. We have a million things happening. We don't expect everybody to have the same amount of things. But like, everyone has a flavor of like thoughtfulness, and whatever that flavor is for you, I do not want to spend a majority of my time with a person that does not do thoughtful, nice things for me and make me feel like I am cared for. Because I can do that for myself.
Can we talk about how recently I was told that the person wants to make sure that I get a massage, make sure that I'm fed, make sure that I'm hydrated, because I spend all of my time taking care of other people. So it's high time that someone takes care of me. And I was like,
hot.
Okay. Weird feeling, but okay.
One of the hottest things that someone has said to me recently is, have you had any water today? Be a good girl. Let's drink some water for me. And I was like,
literally, like, yum. That's yummy. That's so good.
And that's one of those things which is unfair. But like, if there's I have to feel a certain type of way about you, because if anybody else, even if you haven't gotten to the point where like, I like you enough or I don't feel this way about you, but definitely like, if somebody was like, oh, like someone at work or whatever, like, oh, like, this happened last night. This is a good example. Like,
okay.
I was out with my sister and it was right before the bar closed and we left, and I was like, I'm going to get something to drink from the gas station or whatever. And one of the guys we were with her coworkers, he's like, I'm not going to let you walk over there by yourself. And I was like, I did not ask you, sir. I did not ask you permission to walk 50 feet to a gas station. And I know he was just being nice, but I'm like, no, absolutely not. But if I feel some type of way about you, in a different context, let's say, it's totally fine.
It's the same thing as being told, like, listen, I know you're a bad bitch and I know you can take care of yourself, but let me open the fucking door for you. And I was like,
Yes.
okay. Didn't have to be so aggressive, but okay.
One thing,
Like, and it wasn't that aggressive, but I was just like immediately defensive. Like, how dare you? But okay.
Yeah, I also like, I want someone to like acknowledge my bad bitchness, like realize that I can handle myself and I can take care of myself and I can do all of these things for myself. Like,
Hell yeah.
because that's really important to me because I do a lot of things. Like somebody who thinks the things that I do is cool and interesting. Like,
yes.
you know, or like.
And it's not all about the things that they do that's cool and interesting.
Exactly.
It's reciprocated.
Exactly. Like, and this isn't particularly like something that's like super rare, but it does not happen often. Like I would tell somebody that I've been talking to that I have a podcast and they would either be like, wow, that's really cool. But then they would never listen to an episode. And like, if I've been talking to somebody on Tinder, I don't expect them to necessarily, but like, then they would never bring it up again. Or like, I would be like, oh, like we make plans and I'm like, oh no, I'm recording my podcast. And they're like, you have a podcast? I'm like, okay. Like, and even if you don't listen to podcasts
already talked about this
or whatever, like it's like, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to listen to every single episode as soon as it comes out. Like that's really not necessary. But if I'm out with you and your friends and he's like, this is my person and she has a podcast and she does dance and she does all of this cool stuff, like that is what I want. Instead of like guys being like, this is my person. And then that's it. Like I have to, and then I have to explain. It's always like, this is my person. This is who they are to me. And then it's up to me to like explain who I am to whoever I'm meeting. And that is just something that is really nice that I didn't even think about until it happened. And I was like, ooh, I like this. This is nice.
For someone, I think this was a while ago. This was like a year ago. But someone, I don't remember if it was you or if it was me, but we were talking to somebody on an app and we were, you know, talking about the things that we do and hobbies and blah, 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 and how we're ultra understaffed all the time. And the person, oh, fuck, I can't remember the term that they used. Fascinating. They told one of us that we were fascinating and we were both like, oh, thank you. I agree. Thank you. Fascinating.
Yes. Yes. Find me fascinating.
That's the kind of response. Like, I in my lifetime, I would love. Like we've talked about this. And tangent. Welcome to the show. So, like honestly, in my life, I would love to have nothing to do, but the brain inside of this noggin does not allow for that to happen. And so I have hobbies and I have things and I have friends. I have had friends and people I've dated and or was married to that was okay doing nothing. And I can only handle like a certain percentage of that because it is nice. Like yesterday, I rotted in my bed from a 10-day working vacation that was lovely, but exhausting, right? But did I wake up halfway through the day and work on the forever business for like an hour? Did I also work on some podcast things and get some videos done for reels? Like there's these things. I don't think that I could go an entire day doing nothing unless I was sick, which I've been that way before, obviously. But if someone recognizes that and like, hey, this person is constantly busy and constantly has things to do, I'm grateful that they're making time for me. Correct.
You. I will, like, Sarah and I are the same people. Like, we are constantly, like, balls to the wall at all times. We have 17 tabs open in our brains. Like, I could be somewhere and I am working on, like, podcast stuff where I'm, like, writing something in my notes app to, like, remember for later, or, like, looking up different articles or whatever, for all kinds of stuff that I'm doing. And like, I do not take time to like relax or whatever, but I will take time if you like, if the person that I'm with is important, like I'll be like, okay, like I have this evening after work, I would like to see you or whatever, or like Friday night or whatever. I'm not going to be at your beck and call at all times though. Like, you can't just call me and be like, hey, that's something that Magic Guy does. Still does. He lives an hour away and he'll be like, hey, come see me. When? Right now. No. No. Yes.
Moving on to a more lighthearted part of the show, I did find some Excel lovers Valentine's Day cards, because if you are new to the show, you're welcome. Erika and I are both in love with Excel, and the magic that it brings to our lives is like
chef's kiss.
Next level amazing. Yes. So I found some Valentine's Day cards that you're welcome you can use. The first one is I choose you. Love a good command. Another one
Yeah, you
is
do.
let's never split. Another one is let's never split, and it has a whole bunch of bananas on the front of the card, and I thought that was fucking brilliant. And of course there's, you know, the punny ones that it's like, happy Valentine's Day to my excellent lover. Adorable. It has a little like old-fashioned computer on it. Love that. You know, of course there's the excellent friend. And then one says, let's spreadsheet the shit out of this. I love that for us. And then the other one is, let me be your freak in the sheets. Yes.
Yes.
Also, I'm here for that. And then, spreading your sheets is something I'd like to excel at. Okay. Love that one. Okay, this one is excellent vibes only. Be my Valentine. Love that. Yes. This one is legends do it in the spreadsheets. Okay. I'm V lookup in a room full of H lookups. And I was like, that's perfection. Thank you so much for that. Magicians excel because they cast a spell.
I mean,
if you, okay, we've talked about this on previous episodes. If you tell me that I am magic in Microsoft Excel, you're getting laid. Like, it's like that. Have you seen that Katy Perry video of her being a guest on Call Her Daddy? Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so funny how she's like, I don't want a fucking Lamborghini. I can buy my own Lamborghini. But if I come downstairs and you've done the dishes, I'm gonna give you a blowjob. Yes. And then there's like a cut reel of Orlando Bloom in like a, what the hell is that thing called?
An apron?
An apron. And he's washing dishes and he's like, what? I just like to clean the house.
Yes.
Oh my God. So it's the same thing. If you tell me that I'm magic with Excel, the things I will do to you.
Yes.
Like, stop it.
Yes. Okay, guys, that's it for us. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to join us on Discord, like us on socials, leave a 5-star review wherever you listen. I have seen those steadily go up, and every single time I see one, Sarah and I squeal with delight and do a little dance. So please, please, every single time, it means so much to us. Remember, we are going to be in Kansas City for Lit Libations with Casey Bookbeat. Super excited about that. We are going to be recording in an actual studio like a professional. So excited. So excited. We still have merch up. It's still hilarious. You should still buy some. Book club. All of our information about the book club is in Discord and also on our socials. We love you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. We love you. Without you, we would be potting into the void.